Vidal and I'm a comedian and a journalist.
My name's Samantha Asumadu. I'm a writer and a filmmaker and the founder of Media Diversified.
And this is NDA, which is our new podcast that we are filming, and we're going to be talking about loads of stuff. And basically NDA stands for
No Dickheads Allowed.
What to expect from NDA?
I would say what you can expect from NDA is we're going to be speaking about social issues, we're going to be speaking about stuff in the news, and it's going to be non-bullshit basically. So it's going to be completely opposite to mainstream news. We're just going to get to the issues, we're going to tell the truth behind the stories.
Yeah, and so we will obviously talk about NDAs, super injunctions, politics, and men and relationships. What's been in the news this week is non-disclosure agreements. Now, I don't know how much you know about it, Sam, but basically Theresa May has said she wants to review the law that is allowing very rich men to buy justice.
Okay, well, tell me a bit more, because I don't know that much. I try not to listen to Theresa May as much as I can.
I was going to say something about that, I won't.
Do it.
What it is what happens is sometimes there's some very rich men that behave extremely badly. And what they do is they get you to sign a non-disclosure agreement so you can't talk about their behaviour.
But what's in it for the person who's signing in that case?
Sometimes they get paid off, or sometimes they don't even get paid at all. So you might have to go and work at a certain company or, you know, work at a certain station, and before you can do anything, you sign a non-disclosure agreement, meaning that whatever happens there, whatever bad behaviour is happening there, you're not allowed to say anything about it.
So you do it before you start the job?
Sometimes, yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you do.
So do a lot of people walk away from jobs knowing that they would have to sign right?
They would have to sign one, or you could get what they call like a confidential order or a gagging order. So sometimes afterwards they will do something really bad and they will put an order on you so you can't say anything about it. Right. And these are very expensive orders that cost a lot of money, and that's why it's kind of seen as justice for the rich, really.
Yeah. So it's going to be someone who's got a lawyer on call who would do an NDA.
Whoever's got a lawyer on retainer, like one of those big city lawyers. So what happens is normally the people who suffer are going to be working class people, you know, women in certain jobs who want their career to be advanced. You don't want to be seen as a whistleblower or as a grass.
What do you mean by certain jobs? So you're not talking supermarkets here, you're talking...
No, I'm talking probably, you know, I suppose if you're at the upper echelons of Sainsbury's organisation, you might be forced to sign one of these things. But it's mainly like people who work in the city. There's a lot of that happens in television, radio, that kind of thing.
Okay, and lawyers themselves, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah,
okay.
I would assume so, yeah.
So I know last year there was a big, this year I guess, a big case came out about Weinstein, the Hollywood producer.
Absolutely.
And I mean, this will sound a little bit basic, but I kind of fell in love with Ronan Farrow through that whole thing, just because some of his investigations, some of the, you know, the exposés he did, especially the Mossad, so on, because there was somebody following that actress. Do you remember...
I don't know the story.
Oh my gosh, the actress who came, Rose McGowan.
Oh yeah.
So she had maybe an NDA NDA, not MDMA, NDA with Weinstein because of stuff he'd done from years back. Yeah, and this has all come out because of recent articles. But then, in the meantime, because he knew that she was talking more about him, he had some intelligence agency, private intelligence agency, employ a woman to befriend Rose McGowan and just find out as much as she could about her. Not even just about Weinstein, but about her. So this Rose... You know, she trusted this person who just came to her saying, oh, maybe we could do some work together and so on. And this only came out because of Ronan Farrow. Yeah. And obviously he's got some, you know, some connections with the whole, well, with abuses of women, considering his family background. But I find it quite interesting that it was a white man who sort of exposed all these things, because it's usually them protecting each other.
Yeah, but no, it's only a white man that I think can do it. Do you know what I mean? I think that if you had a situation where you needed a gagging order or something, you know, I think anybody else that did it would be absolutely crucified. And I think it would be it will be the end of them. So
it wouldn't be any white man. So some working class guy from a construction site isn't going to.
They're not going to be able to. What you need to do is if a rich white man's upset you need to find another rich white man who went to prep school with him, who might have pissed in his bed in his dormitory.
Oh God!
And he's still angry about it. And then you get him. Excuse me, will you help me, please? I think, it's crazy. We're actually in this position now where we're having to ask white men's permission to chastise other white men, and it's just ridiculous.
This is exactly what, earlier this week I think I tweeted something like, I am sick of sucking up to mediocre white men to push through my agenda, and this was regarding an event I'm trying to organise. But the point was, there's so many mediocre people who are in positions of power who wield it over you. Fine if you've got, get your coins, everybody get your coins, but if you then try and suppress or oppress somebody else who's just trying to do their job, then that's another matter, isn't it?
But I don't know. They reckon they've got 20 years left.
Before they all die off.
No, 20 years left of this crazy white supremacy nonsense.
Who said that?
God, I don't even remember who said it first.
Oh my God. SNL, no, I need to look that up.
SNL did a sketch on it saying white supremacy is coming to the end of their days.
So we first have to go through fascism though, because that's the sort of arena we're in now.
Isn't it? What did Gandhi say? First they laugh at you.
Okay.
And whatever, then they try to kill you, and then you win.
Then you win. I mean, we've got issues with Gandhi
racist.
as well. Yeah, exactly. I was just going to, but sometimes these things are distractions. But Gandhi was a racist. Weinstein has been the biggest case in America. We've got our own cases going on now, and I think we're about to see the whole of Britain blow up with all these cases.
And the way up. The worst ones haven't been named yet, but there's still time.
There's always time to expose
expose
these people. I mean, we're talking about rich white men, but we can broaden this out, because there's a lot of men who aren't white who also wield power over women. It's not even race specific, really, is it?
It's mainly white men, but I mean, because they're in the positions of power. But yes, men across the board are really bad. And I remember sort of speaking to black guys going, straight black men, they're just the worst. They're the worst part of our community. And they get really upset because they think that I'm saying white men are better. I'm not.
No.
I just think they're all shit.
Yeah, pretty much. But I mean, you use the word power, and that's actually quite important, because obviously there's institutional power, race power, and so on. But then in basic terms, there's also just physical power. So whether you've got money or not, men are generally going to be physically more stronger than women.
Exactly.
And this is what brings me to this case that I came across on Twitter recently. I mean, what had happened? I mean, I'll just read out the tweets. It's from he's a social entrepreneur from Harvard, alumni of all sorts of things. He's based in NYC, and he says, a former intern at SLF had contacted me some months ago stating that she was being stalked and threatened by her politically well-connected ex. On one occasion, he mercilessly beat her up publicly in Gurgaon, which I guess is I'm not sure exactly what area of India that is. I encouraged her to file a police complaint and not let go. GGN police registered a case, but soon started pressuring her to withdraw. The lawyer assigned her to advised her to withdraw. Oh, so the lawyer also told her to withdraw her case. I didn't know that. She decided to stand her ground and pursue the matter. This afternoon, so this goes back a few months, last month, October. This afternoon, she decided to stand her ground and pursue the matter. She was arrested by the same police. She wasn't told why she was being arrested, and was later informed after hours that it was a case of extortion filed against her by her tormentor. The speed and manner in which she was picked up is in stark contrast to the treatment received by the accused in her case. If this is how eventually victims of abuse are going to be treated, one can only imagine the fate of Me Too and other similar movements. So this guy is now contacting all the lawyers he knows, hoping to get her help and justice. And I saw that and I thought, good God, that is a horrendous story, but it's not that out of pocket, I've heard similar things like that.
Isn't it sad though that we still have men, like you said, we have to be saved, by men. from other bloody men. Like, they don't listen. There's so many women out there that I know who've had issues and whatever, and they just say you're crazy.
Yeah.
They say you're mad. They say you're this. They say you're hysterical.
Oh, God, yeah.
And I just don't know what it's going to take.
You've been coveting my earrings today. They are from FunkyNChunky, who are a London-based accessory brand formed in 2014 after a visit to Ghana. They work alongside local makers and entrepreneurs to produce statement bags. They sell handmade African print products that are made by women. Their slogan is empowering through fashion.
Okay, you know what we should do? We should define some terms. So gaslighting, what exactly is gaslighting?
Okay, this is exactly what gaslighting is. My friend taught me this. She's a white feminist in Scotland. So do you know the film? Okay, there's a film.
I know there is a film,
but I don't actually know. Is it called Gaslight or Gaslight? Whatever it was called.
Gaslight, I think.
So basically, what the man was doing was they had these gas lights. So you would put the gas up, and it would be a different level flame, and he would twist it and turn it and change it. So when she commented on it, he'd go, "What are you talking about?" So, like for instance, so I do this, and you go to me, "Why did you just move that?" I go, "What are you on about?" I didn't. I didn't touch it. Yeah. And so they do it and they play with your mental health. They make you think that you're actually going crazy. Yeah. And then we go, "You did know," they go, "Oh, what are you shouting for?
Yeah.
You're hysterical. What are you doing?"
Do you know, I don't think there's any woman who hasn't gone through that.
No,
I mean, maybe, yeah, some men will have as well, but I don't want to go not all men, because that's just, you know, again, we're talking about power and systems and institutional things, not just like personal relationships. This is bigger than just me and you having a problem with, you know, the man down from Streatham. You get me?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. But I always do find that decent men will not say that. So if you're saying something about men, I'm always really, suspicious of men who tell me, I go, "But not all men." Mm. Some of us, like decent men, go, "Yeah, we're cunts."
Yeah. And they don't call themselves feminists either.
No, they don't.
I've got an issue with that. I know some people are going to there's going to be comments about this, like, blah, 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 they are men in feminists, but in my opinion,
I'm sorry. No. I don't think you can be.
Yeah.
I just don't think you can be. I think that any kind of movement has to be led by the people who are most affected.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, and exactly what they should be doing. Don't be coming, like mixing up with the feminists. Go and talk to your friends there, your brethren. They're the ones who need some talking to. Not
and what
us.
they do is they come in and they learn the terms and they learn what to say.
Yeah.
And then the next minute, do you know how many of these left-wing men?
I was just about to go white left-wing men.
Wankers who will come in. They say all the right stuff. You think, oh, he's one of the good ones, and they are the ones fucking around more than anybody that I know.
Absolutely.
They're disgusting.
Oh, we could tell some stories.
Name some of you, by the way.
Maybe if you're not lucky.
Yeah, exactly.
I could name like about 10 now.
Go on.
Some have been in my DMs, some who've emailed. I can't. You know I can't. We're on a show called NDA.
One day we will do a show with Prosecco, and I'm going to make her name them all.
Yeah, we'll write the list. It'll be a long one though. Okay. And so we're going to do our extra topic now, and we were going to start with Leveson, and I think you should lead on that because I'm not too on.
Yeah, neither am I.
You know?
Like Leveson, I don't even know why is there a Leveson 2. They didn't implement anything from the Leveson 1. What's the fucking point? They do this, right, every few years, and they go, "Oh my God, we're at the press, we're going to improve ourselves, and we're going to stop going through people's bins and stop going through people's knicker drawers." And then they go, "Oops, we did it again. Let's have another inquiry." It's like the fucking institutional racism thing. It's like the police go, "Oh yeah, fair cop, gov, you're racist." And then a few years later, they go, "I'm still racist." I'm still racist. Let's stop being fucking racist.
Oh my God.
Stop being racist. And that's what they need to do. They haven't got any fucking ethics.
Do you know what? This is across the board though, because we've got issues now with like all the comment awards, the press awards, all of them saying they're going to do this, they're going to do that. Oh,
that was one. And I think the attack on the trans woman who dared to stand her ground, it was absolutely disgusting, and in solidarity with her.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, all right. In that case, that sort of leads on to the Trashies. The Trashy Awards are in their 4th year, and the award ceremonies in 2 weeks' time here. In fact.
And that is, for those who don't know what the Trashies are, that is Sam snatching the edges off mainstream journalists. And some of them I actually like, so I'm not saying anything.
That's it. Right, done. That's the trash. But like the Trashies.
Yes.
Yeah. No.
The nominations are closed now, right?
Nominations are closed now. All I'm doing is trying to find time to collect all the nominations, put them in a poll, and get people voting. Before.
I think people do need to pay attention to Trashies because, quite honestly, I think that is the only way that we're going to try and change the narrative in the mainstream media. Because the Trashies are about people who write articles that are transphobic.
Yeah,
or
so
racist,
that's why I mentioned them. Yeah,
because it is pretty disgusting, or racist, or
xenophobic,
anti-Islam, or those are quite big ones at the moment.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It's not.
Well, it's pervasive in our society. Yeah. So obviously, it's pervasive in the media because society reflects media. It's this whole circle jerk thing, and so the Trashies tries to interrupt that kind of that narrative that's being fed to us continuously.
And there have been some good nominees in the past.
Yeah, there's been some good nominees, some bad winners, and it's shaping up quite well at the moment to be our probably worst year in the way that it's the best year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, if you go on Twitter and put hashtag the Trashies, you'll find all the nominations. You'll find a Twitter account. You can read all the awful stuff that's there, but keep an eye out on the hashtag because I will put the poll up soon, and then we'll have the award ceremony on the same night of the comment awards, the 10th comment awards, which have turned into a little bit of a fiasco over time for various reasons, which we will go into on our next show because hopefully we'll get our next show on the day of the Trashies.
And it's not like, in all seriousness, it's not like we're just saying, oh, these articles are a bit mean about black people or whatever. These articles, what these journalists need to understand is there is a trickle-down effect. They write these things, Mr. and Mrs. whoever might be reading it over breakfast in Islington somewhere, and then they discuss it. Their children hear it. They go to school. There are Muslim kids being called Taliban and Osama bin Laden, and black kids getting accused of all this. These affect people's lives, and until these journalists understand that they've got to be more responsible. They've got to be out of their own little circle of friends and look at other people's lives because they are ruining people's lives. And
have
that's
empathy, but even more than empathy, be professional,
Or just have a look outside your circle, like go and meet people for God's sake.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
You don't have to go to the Spectator party every year and only hang around with those people.
Spectators should not have a party. You have nothing to celebrate. You're all pigs.
Okay, so that's the Trashies, but we'll move on next to... oh, God, here we go. We're throwing people in the bin.
Lucifer, dawn of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.
Oh, yeah. Okay. This is our Put Him in the Bin award. Right.
It could be her, but I think we've both chosen hymns this week, haven't we?
Yes. People of a certain age might remember they used to have a show called The Girly Show where they had Wanker of the Week. And did you see that?
I've never seen that. Was it any good?
No. So anyway, we would have Get in the Bin. So every episode we will choose somebody. And the person I've chosen to get in the bin is, what is his name? I don't even know his name actually.
It's Bhaskar Sunray, I think.
That's the one.
Bhaskar Sankara.
Bhaskar Sankara. I'd like you to get in the bin. I want you to actually take yourself outside to the pavement, open the lid of the bin, get in it and put the lid back on and stay in there because you're a dickhead, mate. Okay, basically what had happened, they were talking about Apu from The Simpsons.
Yeah, there's that documentary just came out. Yeah.
Exactly. So people were complaining about it. They've said that they're now going to withdraw the character. He decided that the character was nostalgic and people could relate to it, and why should they get rid of it? Look, if there's like 99% of your community saying something and you're the only one saying, supporting it, maybe you're the dickhead, mate. Because, so my friend, right, Zab Mustafa, she is like a journalist, she works at Al Jazeera. She said that she was called that name. And we can relate to that as black people. Every black person of a certain age has probably been called the women Kizzy and the men Kunta Kinte. All right? So he turns around and his witty comeback was, hey, if Apu didn't exist, are you trying to say you wouldn't have faced racism? Mate, don't be a dickhead. You know exactly what she's talking about. There's always going to be points of reference that people will use, and they are going to make your life hell, and they will use those, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So don't be a dickhead, you know what she means.
But with Apu, you see, I think, like, that awful character, obviously, but, you know, part of my consciousness, I know who he is. I don't think they should have got rid of it. They should have just made him like they should have got like a brown person to write the character and make it like, you know, a little bit more interesting. Because racism isn't interesting really. All it is just
boring.
Like,
it's the same old stuff all the time. But no, they wouldn't think to do that, would they? Do you know what I mean? You could have just written, as you said, and make it less offensive. But no, they won't do that. And that is what actually I've noticed, and we need to talk about this on an episode, is when you complain about racism or you complain about something about you, the way you're being portrayed, they'll turn around and go, we won't portray you then. Yeah. You're not going to be... Well, if you're complaining about it, then you just don't need to see it. And it really sticks in my craw. It pisses me off.
Yeah, and it's meant to, I think. Yeah. But, okay, so my nomination, well, the winner of Getting the Bin for me this week is a guy called Sam Bowen. Now, Bowman, I should say. I'm sure he doesn't like getting his name. It is at S8MB, and I'll read out what he says, his profile. He says, I'm a liberal. I'm interested in economics, technology and food. I used to run ASI, which is the Adam Smith Institute. Some of you on the left may know who that is. Certainly everybody on the right watching this will know. Anyway, he used to run ASI, and I invented neoliberalism. I think that little bit was supposed to be a joke. But the real joke is what he decided to do this week. He decided to set up a petition, and I'll just read his words because they speak for themselves. Hey everyone, Sam here. As you know, I believe strongly in fairness and standing up to bullying. That's why I've set up a petition to rid Trafalgar Square of the chalk beggars and Yoda impersonators who are exploiting our square. Please sign and share. And he asks for 1 retweet equals 1 respect for visitors to London. He says he's just 12 signatures away from making this happen, folks. So there is a lot of other stupid people that should get in the bin as well.
Sam,
how do you spend your time?
That's going on in the world, this is the fucking hill you're going to die on.
Exactly.
Like, have you got nothing? Really, Sam? Really, Sam? Sam, you go home, before you get in the bin, you look in the mirror, you take a goddamn hard look at yourself, and you ask yourself why. Why, Sam? Why? And then you go to your parents and you ask them why. And then you go outside to the pavement, open the lid of the bin, get in it, and put the lid on it.
Thank you, Ava.
It's okay.
You said it perfectly. Okay, so we'll move on. Those are the people that we're throwing in the bin. However, what we also want to do is highlight a couple of people who are, if you go to the hashtag on Twitter, here and fabulous.
Exactly. Am I nominating first?
Yeah, you go for it.
The person I'm nominating for Here and Fabulous this week is Miss Mohammed, Ms. Mohammed. And she is from Trinidad. She is a queer Asian. She does soca, punk. She's got a great song out called Pandora. The single before that was called Alibi. She's getting played all over BBC Music. Iggy Pop loves her. She's getting, Amy LeMay is promoting her. Okay. Bobby Friedman's promoting her. So please.
We better play the music over this, actually.
Yes, I think we do. I think we need to go out with that. So my Ms. Mohammed, check her out.
Cool. Well, my one is pretty topical. It's another woman, a black woman called Claire Aiwan Obinyan. Oh, have I got that right? Let me just check, because I do hate it when people get our names wrong, us people of African descent. So it's Claire Aiwan Obinyan, I think. I know she's of Nigerian background, so maybe I didn't pronounce that exactly right. But anyway, she is an actress and a director. And why I'm nominated her is because she has a film coming out today in lots of Odeon cinemas. The film is called No Shade. And you can, as I said, go to an Odeon from, I believe, 8 o'clock tonight anywhere pretty much in London, maybe the UK, I'm not entirely sure, and watch No Shade Film, which is a film about colorism. Basically, let me just read out what the Radio Times said about her film. I'll have you know. Addressing the issues with a measured maturity that avoids browbeating, this is an engaging study of the problems and prejudices facing black British women, both within their own communities. Claire, you're here and fabulous.
What's her Twitter handle?
What's her Twitter? Her Twitter. Okay, actually, her film is No Shade Film. You can find that on Twitter. Her Twitter is Claire, CLARE, ANYIAMO. Or if you go to my Twitter, you'll see retweets. I've been retweeting her today, and you know, just bigging up the black woman doing her thing.
You may have noticed behind us is a beautiful wax print cloth, and that's because we're sponsored by Wax Print Film. Wax Print Film is the story of one fabric and how it came to symbolise a continent, people and their struggle for freedom. Feature documentary directed by Aiwan Obinyan.
Right, so we've come to the end of our first episode. I hope you enjoyed it.
Ooh, we've got one more bit.
Oh, what have we not done?
We are going to tell people about a book that we like.
Oh, of
and
course.
we only chose this book just before we sort of came on air.
Yes.
Is that the right term for
yes.
a podcast? I'm not even sure.
Yeah,
pretty much. And we decided to go for How to Rule the World. This is a book by Andrew de Guillaume, a handbook for the aspiring dictator.
Oh, yes. She chose that book. It's nothing to do with me. I'm a decent person.
I have to say, my best friend, Richard, bought me this a few years ago, and I was a little bit nonplussed when he gave it. He's like, what do you mean? You think I want to be a dictator? But I think for any black woman from a working class background in Britain probably needs a little bit of this to get gassed, because we need to get gassed ourselves and
we do.
and just see our worth, how we're being underpaid, undervalued, all of that. So yeah, do you know what? I've actually
get
said
this
we
and
should
read it, and then we should rule them. We kind of do, but we just don't get the credit.
That's it. That's exactly it.
That's the problem.
Okay. So yeah, I guess we've come to the end then.
We have. So we want you to follow us on Twitter, follow us on Instagram, give us ideas of topics that you want us to speak about, comment on what you've already seen, and we look forward to engaging with you.
Lovely. And so I guess I'll put it underneath here, but our Twitter is NDA_podcast, and our Instagram is NDA_podcast, the same as our Facebook. Okay, see you next time.
They think I'm a shy one, like no, Simz won't flip. But when I switch, then they wanna say that I'm a bitch.